Right, today, just going to do a quick one today. I'm going to make some Indian rice. You know, like the Pilau rice that you get in like the Indian takeaways and stuff like that. An Indian guy taught me to do this years ago. And what I'm going to need for this is obviously rice, onions, couple of cloves of garlic, some cumin, some cardamoms, cinnamon sticks, some black peppercorns, and some bay leaves. Oh, and you can put in some turmeric if you want to. If you want to send it yellow, then turmeric. Probably want yellow rice, Jodie?
Not really.
Why not?
Just don't. Makes your lips yellow.
Okay, we're not bothered with the turmeric then. I'll be back in a minute once I've chopped this lot up. Right, so I've chopped up the onions really small and the garlic together as well. Now what we want to do, I'll just move that off there while I'm talking. What we want to do basically is fry these for, you know, on a, no, not crazy, like, want to basically fry them till they go black pretty much. I'll show you, I'll come back and show you, but you want to fry them for a long time. Always put plenty of oil in there. There's oil and butter in the pan. Yeah, and you want to fry them basically till they, like I say, till they go black. So there you go. We'll just come back in a little while when they've fried down a little bit. I'll show you. Right, I'm sorry about that. My head fell off. I'm saying just fry the onions. When the onions are in, then you want to add this lot. Then, so what I'm going to do here, look at that. I'm going to add half a teaspoon of cumin. Then what you want is I've got 6 whole black peppercorns. I've got about 6 or 7 cardamoms, but you split the cardamoms, just split them with a knife so the seeds can come out in the middle, because that's where the flavour is. I've got a piece of cinnamon, which I'm just going to break up a little bit more. Some cinnamon, and then what? Half a dozen bay leaves, and you want to throw these in with your onions to fry. So chuck all that lot in there. Give them a stir around and just fry the onions nice and nice, gently. And you want to fry them till they go, like I say, till they're really cooked, till they're going black, basically. I'll come back and show you that stage once you've, you know, had a few minutes. Right, so that's where we're at with them. Look, so they're starting to look, you know, I know they don't look necessarily too appetizing, but trust me, this is how to do it. So you get to that stage, like that. I mean, they can even be a little bit blacker if you like. And then what you want to do is you just basically add a bit of water to this to just cover the onions like that. And then you want to boil that and reduce that to like a paste. I'll be back in a second. So I'm just boiling that down harshly, look now. I'm going to reduce that to a paste, and I'll come back in a second. So I've got that now like a paste, look, like an onion paste. And then, so I'll just put it down so it doesn't boil itself to death on there. So, look, I'm going off my old recipe, look, old as the hills. I've written. So, now what you want to be doing is, you want to be adding 1.5 times the amount of water to the rice, what you're going to use. So, I mean, I've got 3/4 of a cup of rice, what I've rinsed over there. I used the very same cup, 3/4. So I'm going to add just over a cup of water to this now. So just get that in there. Alright, so I'll just get a little bit more water. Just a little over a cup of water. Now, at this stage you want to be adding salt. Now, obviously salt this to taste, but the water wants to taste very salty. Personally, for this amount, I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of salt. Two teaspoons of salt. Let's turn that up because you want that to start boiling there. So we want to bring this to the boil, then we're going to add the rice. Now, in the interest of, like, you know what I mean, I did talk Jodie into having a bit of turmeric into it anyway, 'cause it makes it look a little bit better and it will turn the rice yellow. So you don't need much. You just literally want to be putting just a little bit of turmeric in there if you want yellow rice. You just put just a little turmeric. That should send the rice yellow. So what we're going to do now is bring that to the boil, and then we're going to add the rice that we've rinsed. So, I mean, I'll take this opportunity to say, normally when I do this, I normally make a big massive pan full and then freeze it again. I mean, tonight we're having chilli that's out of the freezer, what I made before. So, you know, my point being is, I know I don't want to lecture nobody or, you know, whatever. I know that we're all busy people and we're working and that, but stuff like this, you see, you can do a super huge pan full and freeze it. And then when you're making chilies, bologneses, curries, things like that, you can do the same. Then all of a sudden when you're working, you're in from work, you can do yourself a microwave meal, but it's a home cooked microwave meal. So it's like a little bit of effort to do it in the first place, but you gain the rewards next week, the week after, the week after. Do you see where I'm going? Because, I mean, really and truly, again, I don't want to be lecturing nobody, but, you know, I mean, I'm a fussy eater myself, believe it or not. I don't eat veg and stuff like this, and I'm working out ways to which I can get it into my diet, because I was talking to my butcher at the weekend, and he was telling me basically, well, it was the young lad that worked there. He's 18 years old, and he was telling me he's had 2 jobs before this. Before he was in the butcher's there, he worked at a slaughterhouse and he worked at a food processing plant. And believe me, you know, the food what's coming from the supermarkets, you would not want to know what is going on there with the processing. I mean, it's all mechanically recovered meat, you know, and they add serious stuff to it. It's like ammonia, I believe, they add to it to basically jellify. I'll tell you, with chickens, they get the chicken carcasses and they jet wash them, blast all the meat off, and then they add like a powdered form of ammonia to them to like jelly it up a little bit so they can form it back together to make the chickens and stuff. I mean, these ready meals and stuff like that, they're really not the way forward. I understand we're all pushed for time, and I really do, but there's things you can do to, you know, to make your life easy and eat well as well, you know. I'd like to say, I don't want to be lecturing nobody. I'm not here to do that. It's just that I'm starting to find out what's going on with all this, you know, especially with the meats and, you know, the burgers, pies, ready meals. It's really not good. Really not good at all. Right, anyway, so this has come to the boil now, look. So now I'm going to add the rice to this. So there's my rice, what I've rinsed. In. So now what we want to do, that's to the boil. So we want to be basically having this on it. Just wait till that starts to boil again, because obviously I've just added the rice and it's cold, which won't be a minute. And then what we're going to do is reduce it slightly, and we're going to put the lid on and leave it on a fast simmer. But we're not going to touch it. We're not going to stir it. We're not going to do anything to it after this point. I'll just pause now till this starts to boil. I'm going to put. It's starting to boil now, look. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it down. And what we'll do is we'll gradually turn, as the water reduces, we will gradually keep turning it down. So I've turned it down a touch now. Let's get it onto a fast simmer. I'll put the lid on. I'll be back in I'll be back in a minute. I'll show you as it goes. So obviously that's boiling too much, so I want to just reduce it more. Just turn that down a touch. Right down there. Lid back on. So that's the type of boil you want, look. I'm going to put the lid back on it, and then we'll come back and we'll leave that now for a good 5 minutes before we look at it again. Right, I'm going to be quick with this because you don't really want to be looking at it too much, but this has been on 5 minutes now, it has. Yeah, it's coming on now, so we'll just leave that like that still. So just one last thing I wanted to add. I mean, obviously Indian rice, it should be like basmati rice, but I ain't got none. But the rice I use is like easy cook rice. It's like part cooked, part boiled for a start. Then why I use that for is because it don't stick together. You know, when it comes out, it stays individual grains, and it's just better. It don't clog up. You know what I mean? So easy cooked rice. It's part cooked. I said 10 minutes now. It's starting to thicken up now a bit. It's good. I'll come back in a second and show you the next bit. Right, so it's had about 13 minutes now. I don't know if you can see in there or not. You're starting to get wormholes appearing, like holes in the rice. You know what I mean? Just pure holes. Now when that starts happening, just reduce the heat a little more, because obviously there's not a lot of water in there now. Whoop. So still put the lid back on for another 2 minutes or so. Right, so Right, so it's add 15 minutes. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but there is holes in the rice now. All the water's gone. So what you want to do now is turn the heat off and leave it on the heat for about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll fluff it up and serve it, and we'll see. So just leave it with the heat. The heat's turned off now. It's just on the hot ring, and I'll put the lid on. Right, it's at about 10 minutes, 10, 15, whatever. Let's have a look. So it is, but we start to fluff it up. Look, you can see. I'm going to serve this up in a second, and I'll show you then. Okay. Indian restaurant style Pilau rice, and I'm about to have it with chili.